You're not tired because you're weak. You're tired because you care too much about things that drain your soul. In a world that glorifies noise and pressure, the real strength lies in silence. As Buddha once said, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." Yet we keep chasing happiness outside, bending under the weight of opinions, expectations, and invisible battles. Have you ever wondered what would happen if you simply stopped caring? Not about everything, just the things that don't serve your peace. In this video, you'll uncover the hidden power of Buddhist detachment, not as cold indifference, but as sacred protection. We'll explore what it truly means to let go without losing your heart. Because caring less doesn't make you selfish, it makes you free. There's a powerful bonus lesson at the end you won't want to miss. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're not sure what to say, just type, "I choose peace over pressure." If you're going to get anything out of this video, just get that. That's all you need to know in life. Number 1, let silence win the war inside you. They say silence is empty, but in Buddhism, silence is full of awareness, full of clarity, full of power. When nothing is said, everything is heard. The less noise you create, internally or externally, the clearer life becomes. But we've been trained to think we always need to speak, explain, defend. Think of a lake. When it's still, it reflects the sky perfectly. But when it's disturbed, all you see is chaos. Are you the calm lake, or the one constantly rippling with reactions? In today's world, where everyone is fighting to be right, silence has become the ultimate rebellion. The less you care about being heard, the more you hear yourself. Real happiness begins when you stop performing for the world and start listening within. Many of us carry invisible wars inside, arguments we replay, moments we regret, words we never said or wish we didn't. But here's the truth. You don't need to win every war. Sometimes you just need to stop fighting. Sit still, close your eyes, breathe. For just 2 minutes, don't chase thoughts, don't judge sounds, just listen. You'll realize silence isn't absence. It's presence in its purest form. And in that space, answers start to rise. What could silence resolve better than words? A damaged relationship? An insult that doesn't need a comeback? A situation where your peace matters more than your pride? The Buddha taught that our suffering often stems not from the world, but from our resistance to it. We keep reacting, defending, overthinking, trying to control what was never ours to hold. But when you learn to pause, not out of fear, but from wisdom, you begin to reclaim your power. Ask yourself, where in life do I speak just to feel heard? Is it at work, in relationships, or in those moments where silence could have said more? There's a quiet power in detachment, not from carelessness, but from clarity. When you stop caring about being right, admired, or validated, a strange thing happens. You become free. And that freedom is happiness. Not the loud kind with fireworks, but the gentle kind that wraps around your soul like warm sunlight. At the end of this reflection, ask yourself, can I let silence win one small war today? A pause before a reaction, a breath before a reply, a smile instead of a retort. The answer will shift your inner world. To end the hunger of overthinking, you need to eat positive attitude and happiness. The less you care about controlling outcomes, the more life unfolds in peace. Let silence speak. Let go, and watch your happiness rise. 2. Care without attachment, act without expectation. The world tells you to care more, hustle harder, attach deeper. But Buddhism whispers a different truth. Care deeply, but hold nothing tightly. The more you cling, the more you suffer. Have you ever loved someone so intensely that their silence broke you? Or worked so hard for approval that the lack of recognition crushed you? That pain didn't come from caring, it came from attachment. Imagine a lotus flower. It grows in muddy water, yet remains untouched, immersed but free. Can you live like the lotus, present but not possessed? Many of us confuse care with control. We think love means ownership, that effort must guarantee reward. But true peace arises when you learn to act without expectation, give without needing, and love without gripping. The less you care about the outcome, the purer your intention becomes. Detachment doesn't mean you stop loving. It means you stop bleeding for things beyond your control. Ask yourself honestly, what am I holding too tightly that's causing me pain? Is it a person, a career goal, a version of yourself you feel forced to protect? The Buddha taught that freedom is found not in indifference, but in equanimity, a calm mind in all circumstances. When you're attached to results, your peace is held hostage. But when you act mindfully, detached from outcomes, you become unshakable. Try this. Do one act of kindness today without anyone knowing. No credit, no applause, just pure giving. Let that moment be your meditation. You might feel a strange lightness afterward. That's what it feels like to be free. When you release your grip, the universe begins to flow. Things don't stick to you, they pass through you. You experience life instead of trying to control it. And that, quietly, brings joy. Because you stop being a prisoner of what if and start living in what is. Ask yourself, can I give and let go at the same time? Can I care for someone and still accept their absence? Can I give my best to a dream without letting it define me? The less you care about holding on, the more peace you hold within. Remember, the more you expect, the more you suffer. The more you release, the more you rise. This is not passivity, it's power. Because when you care without attachment, you love more purely, live more freely, and suffer far less. And in that subtle shift, you unlock a version of happiness the world can't take away. You were not meant to carry everything, just to touch it with love and let it go. 3. Detach from the outcome, not the effort. We pour our hearts into goals, relationships, and dreams, then fall apart when things don't unfold the way we hoped. But Buddhism teaches a liberating truth. You are responsible for your action, not for its fruit. Imagine planting a seed. You water it, tend to it, protect it from weeds. But can you force it to bloom? You offer your care, but the harvest is not yours to command. Yet, how often do we attach our peace to the outcome, not the process? Is your happiness silently depending on everything going your way? There's a silent pressure behind every task. Will this succeed? Will they notice? Will I be enough? That pressure is where suffering begins. We don't just work, we worry. We don't just love, we cling. But true peace lives in the act itself, not the applause it earns. A disciplined, fulfilled mind finds joy in the doing, not in the result. Ask yourself, what results am I secretly obsessing over? Is it validation from someone? A specific number in your bank account? Recognition for your sacrifices? Buddhist wisdom reminds us that expectation is the root of suffering. When you tie your worth to outcomes, your emotional state becomes a puppet of chance. But when you detach from results and stay committed to your path, you become unshakable. You no longer crumble when things don't go as planned, because you weren't chasing the reward, only embodying the discipline. Try this practice. Before you begin any task, studying, working, creating, pause, take a breath and say, I offer the effort, not the result. Let that mantra anchor your actions. With time, you'll notice something powerful. Your energy becomes more focused, your stress less toxic, and your peace more stable. The irony is, when you stop obsessing over the fruit, your roots grow deeper. Can you work without needing a reward? Can you give your all and still let go? It's not passivity, it's presence. You're not giving up on outcomes, you're freeing yourself from being owned by them. In that space, you find a new kind of happiness, one that doesn't swing with wins or losses, but flows steadily from within. Detach from the outcome, not the effort. Let this become your silent strength. Show up, do the work, love with intention, act with courage, but release the need to control the final picture. Because when you no longer chase results like a prisoner, you walk like a free soul, light, focused, and unbothered by the storms outside. And that is where the real happiness begins. 4. Protect your energy like sacred fire. Your energy is sacred, but how often do you give it away like it's free? A careless comment, a draining conversation, an unresolved memory, you absorb it all, and before you know it, your inner flame begins to flicker. Peace is not found, it is preserved. This isn't just poetic, it's survival. Like a candle in the wind, your calm won't last unless you shield it. But still, you let anyone and anything blow through your mental space without permission. Why do you let anyone disturb your inner flame? We often confuse kindness with access. Just because someone wants your time, your opinion, your energy, doesn't mean they deserve it. Protecting your peace is not selfish, it's sacred. Buddhist wisdom teaches that your inner world is your real home, and it must be guarded like a temple. When you allow every negative word, every toxic expectation, every uninvited burden into your heart, you don't just lose energy, you lose yourself. Ask yourself, who or what keeps stealing my peace? Which habits, people, or thoughts are draining you more than they serve you? There is a quiet power in choosing where your energy flows. Imagine this. Every morning, you wake with a full cup of light. Throughout the day, every interaction either honors or empties that light. And if you don't protect it, you'll end the day drained, frustrated, confused, lost. Try this mindfulness practice. When you sense someone pulling you into chaos, close your eyes, breathe deep, and visualize a golden light surrounding your body. This is your boundary, your silent spiritual shield. Boundaries are not walls, they are filters. They let love in, but keep poison out. What boundaries have you been afraid to set? Maybe it's saying no when you always say yes. Maybe it's no longer explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. The less you care about pleasing everyone, the more space you create for your own soul to breathe. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't have to respond to every opinion thrown your way. Detachment is not coldness, it's clarity. When you protect your energy, you don't just survive, you radiate. You become someone who walks into chaos without becoming it. Someone who glows without burning out. Your peace is your power, and your power is your responsibility. Guard it like sacred fire. Let it warm you, not the world that tries to steal it. The less you care about external noise, the louder your inner truth becomes. And in that truth, you'll find peace that no one can take. 5. Make peace with being misunderstood. There will come a time when your silence is louder than your words, when your growth makes others uncomfortable, and when your peace is misread as arrogance. And in that moment, you will be tempted to explain, to justify, to shrink, to fit back into the version of you they once understood. But Buddhist wisdom reminds us, you are not required to explain your evolution. Growth is not always seen, and peace is often misunderstood by those still addicted to noise. What if being misunderstood is not a problem, but a sign? A sign that you're expanding beyond the stories others hold of you. Like a tree shedding its leaves, you will go through seasons where people don't recognize you anymore. And that's okay. You are not a tree for their shade. You are not responsible for making your transformation digestible. In trying to be understood by everyone, you risk betraying yourself. The need to explain, to defend your peace, to win approval, it's just another form of attachment. And that attachment is what breaks your calm. Why do you seek to explain yourself so often? Is it to feel accepted? To ease guilt for outgrowing what once defined you? People will see your stillness and call it cold. They'll see your boundaries and call them walls. But that's not your burden to carry. In Buddhism, there's a saying, "The bamboo bends in the wind but does not break." So when others question your path, pause, smile inwardly, let it pass like wind through bamboo. You are not what they assume. You are not what they need you to be. You are simply becoming. The most powerful peace is the kind that doesn't require permission. Can you remain calm when others don't get you? Can you love them without needing them to agree with your choices? That's when you begin to master detachment. It's not about shutting people out. It's about not letting their opinions rule your inner world. When you stop trying to explain your joy, your silence, your priorities, you begin to truly live. Try this. The next time someone misunderstands your peace or questions your silence, don't rush to correct them. Take a deep breath. Let your energy speak louder than your defense. Your calmness becomes your clarity. Your presence becomes your answer. And slowly, you'll realize, not being understood isn't a threat. It's freedom. You do not owe anyone the story of your becoming. Let that truth liberate you. You are not here to be predictable. You are here to evolve. And evolution will confuse those who only knew your past. But the less you care about being understood, the happier and freer you become. Let them wonder. Let them talk. You keep growing, because your peace is not up for debate. It is earned, guarded, and sacred. Sixth, let the world move without you. Sometimes, the most powerful move you can make is no move at all. In a world obsessed with momentum, urgency, and chasing what's next, stillness is rebellion. Stillness is not inaction. It is intelligent pause. But that pause feels foreign to us. We're taught that if we stop, we'll fall behind. That rest is laziness. That slowness is weakness. But Buddhism teaches the opposite. The less you rush to control everything, the more you start living in rhythm with life. Like the moon, watching the tides, unmoved yet ever present. Can you step back and let life move without dragging your peace into every wave? We force conversations, chase timelines, push plans. We stress over things we can't speed up, waiting for the message, the results, the breakthrough. But ask yourself, where in life am I forcing too much? Is it in your career, where deadlines run your mind even while you sleep? In relationships, where silence makes you anxious and you keep giving just to feel secure? Or maybe it's in your own expectations, pressuring yourself to become, to prove, to arrive. Letting the world move without you doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop controlling. It means allowing life to breathe around you without tying your worth to every moment's outcome. It's choosing observation over obsession, surrender over strain. And in that space, you find a deeper form of control, the kind that comes from not needing to grip so tightly. Try this. One day a week, be slow on purpose. No rushing, no multitasking, no checking the clock. Walk slower, breathe deeper, delay the urgency, and see how much of life you've been missing in your chase to fix it. This isn't about becoming passive. It's about learning the power of non-interference. The storm will pass without your panic. The answer will come without your anxiety. The less you interfere, the more you align. Ask yourself, what would happen if I simply let it be? If you stopped replying immediately? If you let someone walk away without pulling them back? If you let that problem unfold without forcing a solution? The answer might surprise you. Peace doesn't come from fixing everything. It comes from not needing to. Buddhism teaches that life is like a river. If you jump in and fight every current, you'll drown. But if you learn to float, to observe, to trust, you'll be carried exactly where you're meant to go. You don't need to swim faster. You need to surrender smarter. The more still you become, the more clearly you hear what life is trying to tell you. Let the world move. Let the noise pass. You are not missing out by stepping back. You are tuning in. The less you care about keeping pace with the world, the more you discover the rhythm of your own soul. And in that rhythm, happiness isn't a goal. It's a quiet, constant companion. 7. Release the burden of being liked. There is a silent weight many carry, the burden of being liked. The constant adjusting, pleasing, and shaping yourself just to fit into someone else's comfort zone. But ask yourself this: do you live for truth or applause? There's a cost to approval that few talk about. You trade authenticity for acceptance. You trade peace for performance. Buddhist wisdom invites us to release this weight. To be authentic, you must risk rejection. That means standing firm in who you are, even if it means standing alone, like a mountain that remains unmoved no matter who stops to admire it. From childhood, we're taught to seek gold stars. Do well, be polite, follow the rules. And as adults, we carry that same conditioning into relationships, careers, even spirituality. We chase likes, validation, compliments, all while slowly losing the sound of our own voice. But peace doesn't come from being liked by everyone. It comes from being aligned with yourself. Who am I performing for? Is it your boss, your partner, your online audience? What would happen if you stopped trying to be impressive and chose to be honest? The truth is, not everyone will understand your evolution. Not everyone will approve of your boundaries, and that's okay. You are not here to meet expectations. You're here to meet yourself. The less you care about being liked, the more space you create to become someone you are proud of. Try this mindfulness practice. Spend 10 quiet minutes reflecting on who you are when no one's watching. No filters, no edits, just you. Am I proud of who I am in private? If the answer is no, don't panic. Begin again. That awareness is your compass back to truth. There is freedom in no longer needing to be understood. A quiet liberation in choosing depth over popularity. You stop editing your soul to fit into shallow spaces. You start saying no without guilt. You laugh without checking who's watching. You cry without labeling it weakness. This is where happiness lives, not in applause, but in authenticity. Let them misunderstand you. Let them dislike your silence, your boundaries, your light. That's not your problem. Your job is to be real, not relatable. Because the mountain doesn't bend to be admired. It stands because that's its nature. And so must you. Don't shrink so others can be comfortable. Don't dim so others can shine. The less you care about being liked, the more you love the one person who matters most, you. And in that love, you find a happiness that applause could never give. Be true, be kind, be free. 8. Stop collecting emotional debt. We all carry invisible weight, grudges we don't talk about, regrets we revisit at night, words that cut deep and never left. But how many of those wounds are you still nursing that should have been released long ago? Pain is a visitor. Suffering is when you invite it to stay. In Buddhist wisdom, this is the essence of emotional freedom. Pain arrives, that's life. But suffering, that's when we cling to what's meant to pass, dragging old memories like stones uphill. Every time you replay the betrayal, relive the failure, reopen that moment, it's like collecting emotional debt that will never pay you back. You weren't meant to carry all this. Life never asked you to hold every heartbreak, every criticism, every disappointment. But we do it anyway. We confuse pain with identity. We think if we let go, we're letting them win. But forgiveness isn't weakness, it's release. And release is power. What pain are you still feeding? Is it the things someone said in anger? The opportunity you missed? The version of yourself you can't forgive? Imagine your heart as a home. Would you let every painful moment live there rent-free, taking up space, dimming the light, and crowding your peace? Or would you begin to evict what no longer serves you? Try this. Write down what you're still resenting, people, situations, even your own choices. Then burn it. Watch it turn to ash. That isn't just a symbolic act. It's a reminder that healing is a decision, not a reward. It doesn't need approval. It only needs your permission. What if healing didn't need permission at all? You don't owe your pain loyalty. You don't have to carry every scar like a story. Let some things end without needing to understand them. Some apologies will never come. Some explanations will never be spoken. But that doesn't mean you can't be free. The less you care about closure, the more space you create for clarity. The world doesn't need you to be perfect. It needs you to be light. And lightness comes from letting go. Stop collecting emotional debt. You're not a storage space for other people's mistakes or your past missteps. You are a living, evolving being. And evolution requires you to drop the weight, burn the script, rewrite the story, not from pain, but from power. Let go, not because it didn't hurt, but because you deserve to heal. You don't need to hold it to prove it happened. Let it fall, let it turn to ash. The less you carry, the higher you rise. 9. Practice emotional minimalism. We clean our homes, we organize our desks, we declutter closets, but we rarely do the same for our minds. Yet your emotional space is the most sacred place you'll ever inhabit. You don't need more peace, you need fewer distractions. In a world that constantly shouts for your attention, simplicity is not just peace, it's power. But emotional minimalism isn't about feeling less, it's about feeling clearly. It's about letting go of what isn't yours to carry. Expectations you never agreed to, emotions you absorbed from others, stories that no longer reflect who you are. What if most of your emotional clutter isn't even yours? Think about how much you hold on to without realizing it. Other people's moods, their judgments, the pressure to always be doing more, achieving more, fixing more. It's like carrying bags that were never yours in the first place. But Buddhist wisdom teaches that peace doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing less with more awareness. Like decluttering a sacred temple, the mind becomes serene, not when it's full, but when it's clear. Each day, pause and ask yourself, what feeling am I holding that doesn't belong to me? Maybe it's a colleague's anxiety you internalized, a parent's voice still echoing in your decisions, a social media narrative convincing you you're behind. The more you identify what's not yours, the freer you become to meet yourself beneath the noise. This is the essence of emotional minimalism, not escaping emotion, but filtering it with compassion. Now ask, what mental clutter can I let go of today? That one worry you can't control? That argument from weeks ago still looping in your head? That comparison that steals your joy every time you scroll? Let it go, not with resistance, but with reverence. Release it the same way you would gently place an object down that no longer fits who you are becoming. Minimalism of the heart isn't cold, it's clear. It's knowing what's yours and what isn't. It's refusing to rent out your mind to every passing thought. The less you react to everything, the more space you create for what matters: stillness, presence, truth. And from that space, life feels different, quieter, lighter, more yours. What does a simple inner life look like to you? Maybe it's fewer people, but deeper connections. Fewer thoughts, but more clarity. Fewer emotions hijacking your peace, and more awareness guiding it. You're not here to carry everything. You're here to feel fully, live simply, and walk freely. You can't hear your inner voice if it's buried under noise that doesn't belong to you. So strip it back. Release the borrowed stress, the unnecessary guilt, the fake urgency. Let silence be your sanctuary. The less emotional clutter you carry, the closer you come to the life that feels light, intentional, and truly your own. In that simplicity, happiness isn't a distant destination. It's your natural state, waiting underneath it all. 10. Silence isn't weakness, it's mastery. There's a strange belief in the world today that if you're not loud, you're losing. That if you're not constantly explaining, proving, reacting, you're weak. But Buddhism teaches the opposite. Silence breaks more illusions than arguments ever will. Real power doesn't shout, it stills. Like thunder resting within a quiet mountain, the strongest presence is often the one that doesn't move. Why does the world confuse loudness with power? Because ego craves recognition, not realization. But mastery begins the moment you stop needing to win every moment. You don't need to defend your choices to people committed to misunderstanding you. You don't need to argue with energy that drains you. Every time you choose silence over chaos, you reclaim control over your emotional world. And in that pause, something shifts. You're no longer a slave to noise. You're a guardian of peace. What would silence protect you from? From arguments that don't deserve your energy. From reactions that fracture your calm. From words you can't take back. Think about how many times you've said something just to fill the space, only to regret it later. We've been conditioned to believe that silence is awkward, empty, a weakness. But in Buddhist practice, silence is sacred. It's not emptiness, it's presence. A moment of silence is a moment of self-awareness. It's the space where wisdom grows, where clarity reveals itself. Try this. The next time you're criticized or misunderstood, don't rush to reply. Breathe, observe, let silence speak for you. This isn't passivity, it's power with purpose. Stillness is not the absence of action, it's intelligent restraint. It's choosing not to let others dictate your mood. It's pausing long enough to ask, is this worth my peace? That question alone can transform your entire day. Because often, silence is louder than words. It says, I no longer argue with noise. I choose truth over ego. How does stillness empower you? It gives you space to feel, but not react. To see clearly without being swept away. And most importantly, it builds inner gravity. People feel your presence not because you shout, but because you don't need to. That's mastery. Not needing to be right, but choosing to be wise. Not needing to speak, but choosing to understand. In a world addicted to noise, your silence becomes revolutionary. The less you care about defending yourself, the freer you become to be yourself. Let the world talk. Let chaos pass like wind. You remain the mountain, unshaken, vast, still. Because silence isn't retreat, it's alignment. The loudest energy in the room isn't the strongest, the most centered one is. And when you live from that center, happiness isn't chased. It arrives, quietly, naturally, powerfully. Let your silence echo your strength, and you'll discover a kind of peace that words could never earn. 11. Let go of more and find enough. We live in a world that thrives on the illusion of more. More success, more followers, more stuff, more recognition. But have you ever paused to ask yourself, at what cost? The constant chase for more is like drinking salt water. It only makes you thirstier. Buddhist wisdom whispers a quieter truth. Contentment is the richest treasure. Peace isn't found in accumulation, it's found in appreciation. Have you ever noticed that peace begins where desire ends? You don't need the next thing to feel fulfilled. You need to learn how to sit with what already is and see that it's enough. Like sipping clear water from your own hands, there's a simple beauty in recognizing that you already have what your soul has been asking for. But we overlook it, running past the present moment in search of a future that's always out of reach. And the more we chase, the more restless we become. The pressure to grow, achieve, and expand can quietly become a trap. You don't realize it, but every "I'll be happy when" is a thief robbing you of joy now. What are you chasing that's costing you peace? Is it a title, a lifestyle, an idea of who you think you should be? Letting go of more doesn't mean you stop growing. It means you stop growing out of lack. You start choosing from alignment, not addiction. Minimalism in the Buddhist sense isn't about owning less. It's about needing less. And from that place, every small joy becomes a miracle. A quiet room becomes sacred. A warm cup of tea becomes enough. A slow day becomes a gift. Try this practice. Before every craving, impulse, or decision, pause and ask, do I truly need this? That moment of awareness is where contentment begins. Now reflect, where in life do I already have enough? Maybe it's love, but you've been too distracted to feel it. Maybe it's time, but you've been wasting it on things that don't matter. Maybe it's clarity, but you've buried it beneath noise. What would change if you stopped chasing what you already have? There's nothing wrong with wanting to improve, but when desire becomes your identity, you lose the ability to rest. And rest is where wisdom speaks. The less you hunger for what's outside, the more you taste the richness within. Your breath is enough. Your progress is enough. You are enough. Gratitude turns what you have into everything you need. This is the essence of letting go. You stop running toward more and start walking with peace. And in that walk, you realize happiness was never in the distance. It was in your hands all along. Quiet, still, complete. Let go of the noise. Let go of the rush. Let go of the need to constantly add. The less you want, the lighter you live. And in that lightness, you'll find the kind of joy no possession or achievement could ever bring. Bonus lesson: don't try to fix everything, flow through it. Sometimes, the deepest healing doesn't come from fixing, it comes from flowing. We're taught to untangle every knot, understand every pain, close every chapter with a clean ending. But life isn't a storybook. Some pages don't get resolutions. Some storms you don't need to explain. Some things don't need closure, just distance. You don't have to revisit every hurt to prove you've healed. Sometimes, the most powerful transformation is found in your ability to walk past it, unshaken, unbothered, unbound. Why heal what you can transcend? Think of the energy you've spent trying to fix things that no longer serve you. That relationship you keep analyzing. That apology you never got. That version of you that keeps replaying mistakes. Buddhism teaches that clinging to what hurts only deepens the suffering, like grabbing a burning coal to throw at someone. It burns you first. But what if you didn't need to hold it at all? What if you simply walked away, like passing through a storm without stopping to explain the rain? That's not avoidance, that's wisdom. What have you been trying to fix that you should let pass? Is it that argument that keeps spinning in your mind? That failure you still try to justify? That person who left without explanation? We often confuse closure with control, thinking we need understanding to move forward. But peace doesn't always come with answers. Sometimes peace comes the moment you stop needing them. Try this mindfulness practice. Close your eyes and visualize a painful memory. See yourself walking past it. No pause, no resistance, just awareness. And as you pass, imagine yourself smiling, not because it didn't hurt, but because it no longer owns you. This is what emotional freedom feels like. Letting go without needing to fix. Moving on without needing to win. What if moving on is the healing? The truth is, some things in life will never make sense. Some people will never apologize. Some chapters will remain incomplete. But that doesn't mean your story can't be whole. You are not here to solve every puzzle. You are here to grow beyond it. Flow through life like a river, not avoiding rocks, but moving around them. Not holding on to pain, but carrying wisdom forward. The less you try to fix every wound, the more you realize most of them were never yours to carry this long. You are allowed to move forward without a perfect ending. You are allowed to smile without understanding why it ended. You are allowed to let go silently. That's not weakness. That's strength in its most peaceful form. You don't need to heal everything. You just need to stop letting it hurt you. So breathe. Walk forward. Let the storm pass behind you. The less you carry, the lighter you feel. And in that lightness, you'll discover that happiness doesn't need a reason. It just needs your permission to stay. Quick summary of the principles. Let silence win the war inside you. True control isn't found in reacting, it's in choosing silence. When you stop needing to explain or defend, you conserve energy and maintain inner clarity. Silence isn't passive, it's a form of strength. Care without attachment, act without expectation. Genuine care comes without obsession. Love, help, and serve without clinging to outcomes. This frees you from emotional dependence and suffering caused by expectations. Detach from the outcome, not the effort. Focus on the action, not the reward. When you stop obsessing over results, you remain peaceful regardless of success or failure. This principle leads to contentment in every effort. Protect your energy. Like sacred fire, not everyone deserves access to your mind and emotions. Learn to set boundaries and avoid emotional energy leaks. Peace must be guarded to be preserved. Make peace with being misunderstood. Not everyone is meant to understand your journey. Seeking constant validation keeps you stuck. True freedom lies in evolving without explaining yourself to everyone. Let the world move without you. You don't have to participate in every race. Step back, slow down, and allow life to unfold without forcing. Presence is found in intentional stillness. Release the burden of being liked. Trying to please everyone is a recipe for inner emptiness. Your self-worth isn't dependent on approval. Embrace authenticity, even if it means rejection. Stop collecting emotional debt. Let go of old wounds and unresolved anger. Carrying emotional baggage only delays your peace. Forgiveness and release are the only way forward. Practice emotional minimalism. Most of our stress comes from emotional clutter. Simplify what you let in and focus on what truly matters. Let go of what isn't yours to carry. Silence isn't weakness, it's mastery. Speaking less doesn't make you weak, it makes you wise. Choose your silence as deliberately as your words. Silence breaks illusions better than argument. Let go of more and find enough. Happiness is found in contentment, not consumption. When you stop chasing and start appreciating, you awaken to the abundance already within and around you. Don't try to fix everything, flow through it. Not every problem needs solving. Some things need to be released. The deeper wisdom is in moving forward, not getting stuck in analysis or regret. In a world that constantly demands your attention, reaction, and validation, peace has become a rare form of rebellion. But the truth is simple. The less you care about controlling everything, the more you control your inner world. Letting go is not giving up. It's returning to what matters most, your stillness, your clarity, yourself. These principles are not about withdrawal, they're about liberation, about caring deeply where it counts and stepping back where it doesn't. Buddhism teaches us that freedom is not found by adding more, but by needing less. The power lies not in having everything, but in being free from needing anything to feel whole. Inspiring. Quote, "The tighter you hold, the more you suffer. The moment you let go, the river carries you home." Carry this question into your day. Where in my life can I let go, not out of weakness, but out of wisdom? At the end, remember to like and share this video. Share your opinion in the comment box and subscribe to Deep Wisdom for more inspiring Buddhist insights on living a peaceful life.